Welcome back everyone to my low-level playthrough of Chrono Trigger on the Wii Virtual Console. We got a boss battle and then a whole bunch of cutscenes. And in these cutscenes, we end up going to lose Chrono. So we want to take off his good equipment, especially the wallet, before we lose him. So I want to give Luca speed, the dash ring, just to increase her speed. Because we want to get these golems to be on the fire weakness as soon as possible. If Luca just goes with a regular speed, a lot of times these golems will get a physical attack in and kill her before she can hit them with a fire spell. So the speed helps out a little bit. It means they'll have to use a mid-ether on her, but that's okay. We have plenty of mid-ethers and plenty of stuff to use our money on. So the golems will, just like when we fought the single golem, will copy the attacks that we use. That's why we have Aelia and Luca with the red mail and the red vest, respectively, so they can absorb fire. So Luca's going to hit them with a fire 2, and that'll give the basically Aelia and Luca immortality, basically. Now we do want to charm them for their magic tabs, but we don't want to charm them unless Luca has return ready to go, because as soon as we hit them with the charm, they go into the physical attacks, and that'll be their Iron Orb, which cuts your hit points in half, and then that physical attacks will kill you. So we just basically have Luca queued up to hit fire 2, so as soon as we charm them, or the charm misses, Luca puts them back on the fire copy. And then we just wait for them to have a dual tech to pop up, and then we can use this dual tick, like I see the kick. We're going to use the fire wall. That takes off a little over 1,000. They have 7,000 hit points each. You could just take them out together, but when you defeat them, they copy Dalton and use that burp attack, which is a physical attack. So just on the safe side, I'm going to basically hit them with 6 fire walls, and then finish them off one at a time with the blaze kick. And that way we'll only have to basically endure one counterattack at a time. It's possible that both characters can survive the double counterattack, depending on how they roll. Aelia is pretty much guaranteed to survive, but Luca still needs a few tech points to gain her level 7 and 8 technique. And these guys will give 70 tech points total. So it's good to have Luca survive it. Like I said, it'll just cost us 1 extra turn and an ether. 8 MP. So easy sacrifice to make for those 70 tech points. Speaking of sacrifice, like I said, Chrono will be sacrificing himself during this episode. Maybe just let the golems hit us, heal us up. Want to make sure that one golem heals us. The remaining golem heals us before we finish him off with the second blaze kick. Otherwise, you're defeating the purpose of defeating them once at a time. So once you get, like I said, the guide that I was following from Game FAQs by Big Cake, it doesn't say to use the speed ring. It actually tells you to use one of the accessories that cut Luca's MP and usage in half. But I just had too much trouble with that happening. They they'd be too fast, and they would end up defeating Luca before she was able to get them on their fire weakness. So I found this one is a little bit more consistent, just giving her the dash ring. Most of our speed tabs will be power tabs and magic tabs. We'll end up giving you Robo soon. Speed is pretty easy to max out. There's going to be all these panels later on you can charm speed tabs off of. We won't be able to max everybody's speed out, but we get everyone pretty close. Definitely want to have Robo, Marley, and Chrono's speed maxed out though for the end game, because that'll be the party that'll be taking on Lavos. Mainly because they're a triple technique lifeline. Basically the only way that you can win that fight at such low levels. Alrighty. No need to go back and save because there's nothing really else happening in this episode, like in terms of fights. We have one fight, but it's basically intended for you to lose. So I'm just going to give Chrono one of the vests, one of the hats that don't do anything, the bandana, because we want that wallet. Give that to Frog, who'll be kind of leading the party. I don't like having Frog for this section, because we're going to kind of get the origin of the Mazmium. So we need to see that. We'll keep the demon here. He has the same attack power as the Rune Sword. Rune Sword gives some magic defense, gives some extra magic. But Frog's not really using his magic for damage. That double hit percentage will be a little bit better on a future boss fight coming up, so. I'm using quite a bit of technique, so get the gold and silver studs on Alien Robo. Use up a bunch of our speed tabs on Robo. Not going to use them all because, like I said, Robo ends up getting that +3 upgrade to his speed later on, so we don't want to waste any of our speed tabs. And power tabs, like I said, there's going to be an enemy in a dungeon later on that we can just charm endless supply of power tabs off of. So power tabs, not really worried about them at all. We will at the end, by the end of the game though, have Chrono and Robo's power maxed out. Marley, her damage is based on her hit number, so power doesn't help her at all. So here is the Mammon Machine. And like I said, we got this big cutscene here. And like I said, I like to keep Frog in here because it, just because of the one line he says. He basically confirms this is the creation of the Mazmium. Remember, Melchoir gave that ruby knife, or the red knife? Well, we use it to try to destroy the Mammon Machine, and it transforms the magic of the Mammon Machine, turns that ruby knife into the Mazmium. So that ruby knife was designed to, I guess, stop magic. Which is why the Mazmium is so good against magical enemies. Why it reduced Magus's magic defense whenever we hit him with it. When we fought him way back when. Speaking of Magus, he'll be showing up soon. So if you actually defeat Lavos here, you get the Director's Ending. You can get the Director's Ending if you basically, on a New Game Plus, if you enter the telepod on the right. So the Prophet, if you've been kind of paying attention, his pants match Magus's pants and boots. And you can also see that little bit of hair coming out behind his, from his headpiece. So yeah, the prophet was actually Magus. And he has a vendetta against Lavos. We're going to learn where that vendetta comes from in a little bit. Not this episode, but in a few episodes. But Magus has a very long history with Lavos. And he's actually going to fight Lavos here. Spoilers for later on in the game. Right now, Magus is basically, he attacks Lavos, and Lavos is draining his power. He says, my powers are being drained. We can actually get Magus as an optional party member later on in the game. But he won't have all his techniques, and, you know, he obviously won't have, like, the 6,666 hit points that he has when he was a boss. And I guess the game, basically, waives him being weaker when he joins your party is because of this fight with Lavos, where Lavos drains his power. So he's not going to have all those techniques. He's not going to have his dark matter technique, his strongest attack. Well, he's a very good magic user, though. I will not be getting him in this first low-level walkthrough. He comes in at level 37, so he has a really high level. He's a shadow magic user, so most of his techniques are shadow. But he does get, he starts off with the 3 base elemental spells. So he has Lit 2, Fire 2, and Ice 2. But the biggest issue with Magus is he doesn't learn double techniques with anyone, and he can only use triple techniques with those special rocks that you get. So. And there Chrono sacrificed himself to basically buy us time for Shala to teleport us out of here. She's going to use the last of her pendant's power to... I wonder if it just drains her pendant of all its power. I wonder if her pendant is actually ends up being Marley's pendant, because Marley's pendant had no power. We had to repower it up. Like her pendant just got passed down from this time forward and ended up in, you know, Guardia's hands. Shala whoops us away. And we never really see her again. People will reference her though, but she becomes, like in the ending, the motivation for Magus to continue. His goal is to find her. She's been, like I said, more of a player in the sequel, Chrono Cross. And here Lavos is woken up because of the Mammon Machine down in the Ocean Palace. And Lavos awakens and destroys the magical kingdom of Zeal. So it's weird that nobody knew about Lavos, you know, when we first started the game, because Lavos basically destroyed the entire magical kingdom of Zeal. And you figure that somebody would write that down, like, in the record somewhere. I mean, it's obviously a major, major event in the history of the world. And you'll notice, we'll notice actually that it's not like everybody, the enlightened ones who lived in Zeal, it's not like they all died, because you actually notice that some will survive. They won't be distinguishable from the Oathbound folks anymore. You know, other than their dress, they've lost access to magic. But you figure one of them would write it down. This is obviously a major, major event. Not only for Zeal, wiping out all Zeal, but it pretty much wipes out most of the world. There's basically only going to be one island that survives this massive tsunami. So I guess this one, you know, this reference, this massive flood, basically, of the world, is the game's way of kind of referencing, you know, the ancient flood. Most people are familiar with Noah's Ark, the flood from the Bible, but a lot of cultures like the Norse have a flood myth. So I wonder if this is a game kind of, their way of writing in the flood myth of regular Earth here. So Melchoir's gone. Apparently Janus is gone. Shala's gone. Chrono's gone. But what isn't gone is the Epic. The Epic is safely followed us to this island. But we can't use the Epic because where it's parked, it's inaccessible. Speaking of stuff that's inaccessible, there is going to be this tab. It's going to waste a lot of time trying to get. Speaking of tabs, I might as well use that final speed tab. I'm going to just clear out my inventory, use it on Marley. She's going to, like I said, her, Chrono, and Robo are going to have their speed maxed by endgame. But yeah, we finally have a party here. We don't have to use Chrono. There's a side quest that can get Chrono back. The challenge basically says like you should use Chrono at all times. So they recommend getting Chrono back ASAP, but I don't know if I'm actually going to do that. Like I said, it's defeatable with Chrono, in your party, but it does make things a little bit harder. And time is kind of the essence, especially like I said with me, job, rats, boxing, I don't have much time to play these games. If I get a half hour or so, and then a day to do it, and another half hour to do the voiceover. I don't have time to keep playing it over and over again, so I may not get Chrono back until the end. We'll see. I still got some time to determine that. But it's good to have a pretty strong party here now. So we went ahead into here, and I was talking about inaccessible things. Behind that new right now is a magic tab. We want to get that. But we basically have to wait for him to leave. So basically you kind of come in, wait around for maybe like a second or two, 5 seconds maybe. And if he starts walking away, then that's good. If he doesn't walk away shortly, just leave and reset. Give him like some time. And he didn't, and we leave. Like I said, it usually takes about like 5 to 10 seconds to start leaving. So you'll notice he'll like start just walking away. There we go. So it didn't take him too long. Once he walks away, you can go back and grab that magic tab. Actually, that's the only way to get that tab, so I want to make sure that we do. So there's not much to explore here. We're going to have to go into that common area there, but that'll prompt the next scene, so we'll do that in our next episode. Take care, have a good one. Thanks for following along. Bye.